what do you see? I mean, is there anything particular that Eagle Forum is for besides getting the people to go back?
No.
And how would you do
well,
that?
I would say we're actually for stopping illegal and legal immigration.
Okay.
That legal immigration is abused. We've seen now some of the reports on how some of the visas, the H-1B1 visas,
Right.
have been sort of, and so we think there's in American history significant moments. There's been pauses in immigration for
So
reasons.
you want no immigration?
Well, we
period.
think that a pause in immigration. It's one of the things you'll hear Phyllis say is when people say we have to go somewhere because people won't do the jobs. The thing is, we have the best and the brightest in America. We do. We have plenty of kids, young men and women that are graduating with science and technology degrees that can do the job. What Silicon Valley likes, they admit this, is cheap labor from India. $75,000 a year is cheaper than $150,000. And so when I say pause, there's two reasons. One reason is because we think it would be important to let the workforce settle. And the second one is we have had in America in the 20s and 30s after that a time for people to assimilate. It is not an acceptable model for living together to have people come and have their own communities forever. You can speak Italian on the Hill. We love going to the Hill too. But ultimately, the Italian Americans wanted to assimilate. And some of the immigrant communities, not only the Hispanics, but others, are not assimilating yet. So a pause would let them assimilate. And that's, I think that's
I have
important.
to ask this question, and admittingly, I have a personal bias here because my great-grandparents came from Poland in the 20s and 30s. But that sort of message, even to people who are like second and third generations who have the link to the immigrant past of no immigration or limited immigration, aren't they going to be kind of repelled by that because they still hold on to some of that immigrant identity?
Because they recognize no one's saying no immigration. We're saying we've had plenty, and now is a good time to pause. Just like when your grandparents came, that was, as you say, that was a great thing that they came.
Because there was a pause between
there was a major
more or
pause.
less between the 30s and the 50s.
Yeah,
Major.
but they went to Ponca City, Oklahoma, actually, and they opened up a clothing store for all the oil barons there because Ponca City is actually the home base of Conoco Oil. So, I think that they went from living in Grodno, Poland, which is now part of Belarus, to being Oklahomians. So I just wanted to mention
again,
that.
and I'm there may be personal stories, and you may be right, but I think the data shows
Right.
that people, when you talk about, you can either raise wages by forcing minimum wage is
Correct.
up, or you can raise wages by decreasing the labor pool. And one of the things you could do is decrease the labor pool. Now, Jason, you may not want to clean rooms downtown for $12 an hour, but if it was $24 an hour, not now, but a few years ago when you were just a journalist or whatever. Anyway, you could. Isn't that what Eli Oakley's off doing?
Well,
Isn't
did
he
you know
doing
that during my freshman to sophomore year, I cut boxes and cleaned shelves at a restaurant Supply Depot for $6 an hour in Chicago?
for one summer? Just one summer?
Look,
I
I
worked
worked at
at
a
a
dairy.
supermarket.
Did you know that I cut this finger both here and here, and I still don't have feeling on that because I did something like that?
You should get a
Well,
lawyer.
hey,
Lawyer up. You should lawyer
I
up.
worked at
I
a
should
Dairy
have.
Queen in the 70s when I was in high school, and back then we were paid 75 cents an hour.
Yeah.
This is before
So
the fast food
I just want to
places
point that out,
were
not to
included by the
be
minimum
not to
wage.
be curt, just as a humorous aside that I have taken the jobs that nobody else wanted to do.
Well, yeah, that's I guess. Although working in a that's not a bad job, is it? Working in a
No, it was not the worst job I've ever had.